I've become a much more mindful shopper lately. When I pick up clothing, I check the fabric care label to make sure that it's not too high maintenance for me, because if a garment needs to be dry cleaned, I find that time consuming and pretty expensive, so I tend to stay away from those. And also, if I can't quite figure out how to hand wash a garment, I don't want it. It's gonna look great on the hanger, and then after I wear it and I wanna clean it, I'll never wear it again. So over the years, I have figured out what really needs to be dry cleaned versus what I can actually hand wash. And I've also refined my hand washing techniques for some of the scariest fabrics. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you what really does and really doesn't need to be dry cleaned, and then I'm gonna show you how to hand wash or delicately wash garments in your washing machine. And just a quick reminder, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the Clean My Space channel and give this video a thumbs up if you're done with dry cleaning too, for most things. I also wanna mention that we're doing this video in partnership with The Laundress. I have been using their products for about 10 years now. They are a New York-based company that makes eco-friendly laundry products that allow people to hand wash their garments at home and preserve them for years and years. The biggest question in the world of hand washing versus dry cleaning is, are those fabric care labels telling the truth? Do we really need to take everything to be dry cleaned just because it says it needs to be dry cleaned? Manufacturers of garments will say, people aren't hand washing their clothing the way that they used to. Everybody just chucks everything into the machine these days. This is a delicate piece. It might stretch, it might pull, it might get pilling if they put it in the washing machine. So to be on the safe side, we'll just put a dry clean only label on it, and then that way we won't have to field any complaints. That's really what it comes down to. When you check the fabric care label, the first thing you want to do is look at the composition of the garment. And if you see materials like silk, cashmere, cotton, or wool, you can totally hand wash them at home, provided that you do a little test first to make sure that the fabric behaves okay when it's exposed to water. What you would want to be aware of is if you see any color bleeding, any warping, or any other odd behavior, shriveling. If the fabric doesn't look like it's handling water okay, stop. Yes, you do have to dry clean that. If when you're looking at the fabric care label, you see material like viscose, acetate, suede, leather, or taffeta, there are a lot to remember. And actually on the Laundress's website, they have a list of fabrics that you can or cannot wash by hand, so you can check that out too. Now, the other thing to think about is if your garment has any structural elements that could get ruined during hand washing, for example, a pleat or a shoulder pad. Also take into consideration any embellishments that your garment has. For example, if you have a metallic feature on there that if you get it wet might change colors, or if you have sequins, of course some can be hand washed, but some really do need to be dry cleaned, or other things that have been glued on or applied or ironed onto the garment that you don't necessarily feel comfortable washing at home, it is at that point that you would want to deem that garment dry clean only. So first and foremost, you want to have a clean basin, which is like a bin, or a sink that you can work in. I don't have a laundry sink, so I'm actually in my bathroom. If you're in a really small apartment and you don't want to use your kitchen sink, you can always fill a basin or a bucket. Just make sure it's clean and it's free of other products. You also want to make sure that you're separating out all of your colors, just like with regular garments. It's normal to see a little bit of runoff when you're hand washing from the dye, but don't worry, it doesn't mean anything's wrong. If you see color bleeding, that's one thing, but if you see a bit of dye runoff while you're hand washing, that's totally fine and normal. Like with any laundry that you're going to be washing, you always want to keep an eye out for any stains that you need to pre-treat beforehand. So what you want to do is get a safe stain remover and pre-treat the garment by just applying some of the product right on there, and you can either dab it in with your finger or a little cleaning toothbrush, but you don't want to rub too hard. You can leave that for about 10-15 minutes just to let the product do the work, and then you can wash. With wool and cashmere though, if you notice that there's an odor, there's a nice easy thing that you can do. You can take a 1/4 cup of white vinegar and a basin filled with cool water, add your garments to that and just let them soak for 30 minutes. Alternatively, the Laundress makes a scented vinegar you can use. Start by adding 2 cupfuls of a pH neutral cleaner like the Laundress's wool and cashmere shampoo to a basin or a sink filled with cool water. Once this is done, add your item in and start to saturate it into the water. You want to avoid any rubbing or twisting while you're doing this, which is why I'm just squeezing the item in different areas with my hands just to get it nicely soaked. Then you can leave it for up to 30 minutes just to sit and do its thing. When the time is up, drain your sink and press each garment up against the side of the basin or the sink to remove as much water as you can. Remember not to do anything harsh here, like any wringing. When you get all of that soapy, sudsy water out, you're going to run some cool water to rinse each garment. Again, you're going to gently press up against the side of the sink to get rid of as much water. And then you're going to lay out a fresh towel on the ground and put your garment flat on that towel. You're going to slowly roll it up like a sushi roll or a burrito, depending on what your appetite is telling you. And this move helps to remove any excess moisture from the garment before you lay it flat to dry. This is a great move and it actually really reduces drying time. I already showed you how to hand wash garments with wool and cashmere. You can use the same method for silk, although I wouldn't do the vinegar soak. But you can also wash these garments in your washing machine so long as you're using the right settings. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And again, you can do this for wool and cashmere. I'm just going to show you with silk. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you get a laundry bag or a garment bag, and then you can put your silk item into that bag. The reason I love those is because they protect your garment from rubbing and getting affected by anything else in the machine. And it's really important to lie it flat in the bag, or as flat as you can, so that when you're washing, you have maximum exposure to soap and water. Add the appropriate amount of delicate wash depending on how much you're putting through, and then place your machine on a delicates cycle or a hand wash cycle. Make sure that you're using cold water and you have a low spin going. When the wash is done, you're going to remove the garment at once and lay it flat to dry. The reason you're doing this is because it can become misshapen if it's hung, and of course you can't place these in the dryer. When your garment is finally dry, you'll notice it's probably wrinkled, and actually between wears, you might notice there are some wrinkles as well. So you might be wondering, can I iron or steam? And the answer is steam. So get out your steamer and hold it a little bit further away from the garment and just gently go ahead and steam. Ironing can actually flatten yarns. The other thing you can do is use a nice wool and cashmere spray to freshen things up between uses, because these are the kinds of garments that we don't want to wash all the time. If you notice any pilling or bobbling, you can either use a sweater comb or a sweater stone. What you're going to do with this is hold the garment taut and gently work your way in one direction using short strokes to comb all of that pilling off. As I always say, using the right products, tools, and techniques is going to get you the best results in the least amount of time. And in this case, it's going to help your garments look beautiful for years to come. You know, sometimes it can feel intimidating to buy something like a cashmere sweater because you feel like, I don't really know how to take care of it, and maybe I'm not going to wear it as often, so I'll get the least expensive thing because then I can at least throw it in the washing machine. But once you actually know how to take care of these garments, I've had some cashmere sweaters for 10 years because once you know how to take care of them, they look stunning, they hold up, they last. You just have to know how to clean them. And then once you do, you get to wear this really nice stuff and you don't have to keep buying more. So I would encourage you to explore this, and things that you have at home that you've been curious about hand washing, give it a try. Now you know the techniques. And that brings me to this week's comment question, which is, have you ever had a hand washing kerfuffle or a weird dry cleaning story? Let me know about it in the comments down below. Again, a special thanks to The Laundress. They provided all of the products I used in the video today. They've been around since 2004, making detergents that can safely clean clothing in a toxin-free manner, and I've been using their stuff for years on my delicates, and I trust them. So you can imagine I was thrilled when they wanted to collaborate with us on this video, and I hope that you found this to be helpful so that you can be a better hand washer. You can also use a special coupon code that they've set up for you, Clean Gift, at checkout to get a free 2-ounce delicate wash with your purchase for a limited time, or you can sign up for their email and get 20% off. And of course, let them know that we sent you. If you want to see what we're up to during the rest of the week, you can follow along on Instagram. I'm at Melissa Maker. Chad is at the Chad Reynolds, and the two of us are at Clean My Space. If you like the Clean My Space channel and you want to help support us, an easy way to do that is just to watch another video right after this one. And here are a couple I think you might love. If you want to learn more about Maker's clean microfiber cloths, you can click this button right over here. There is a button down there that lets me know you care, so click it if you liked this video, and click this button right here to subscribe and begin your journey to a cleaner life. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.